Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video in another country this time. And I'm so excited to be here in Lisbon, which is a city that I've been wanting to go to for a very long time now. And I think for the last 2 years I've been trying to make a trip here, and I know it's such a popular destination, but I wanted to come here and show you all what Lisbon has to offer, try and show you some unique places as well as different places you can go and see in a day. But I'm starting my day today here at Miradouro de Senhora de Monte, which is one of the many spectacular viewpoints that you can find here in Lisbon, where you have some incredible views looking across different parts of the city. And from this viewpoint here we can actually see the castle, we can see the Golden Gate Bridge, we can see different parts of the city, lots of beautiful buildings, lots of pastel coloured buildings, as well as planes that you can see coming in to land at the airport, which is awesome. If you like doing plane spotting, this is definitely the place to be. And I think it's the perfect place to start the day. It's only 7:30 in the morning, so we're starting nice and early. Okay, I'm just near the castle now, the Castle of St. George. On the way around, I've been noticing in Lisbon there is such beautiful trees, and they're called Jakarandash. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but they're like a really unique purple tree, and you can find them everywhere. And apparently they've come a little bit earlier to Lisbon this year. But you can see I've just got them in front of me now. They remind me a little bit of bluebells, but they're like bluebells but on a tree, rather than on, like, you know, on the floor. But they're stunning, really stunning colour, and this whole street here is just completely lined with them. And they're just so vibrant and purple. Apparently I had a look online, they actually came from Brazil in the 19th century, so they were obviously imported over and then planted around Lisbon, because of course they share a lot of similarities with Brazil. It adds like a different element to the city, because the city itself already is, you know, full of lots of pastel colours, so when you have these trees in the mix as well, it just adds even more vibrancy. And so I'll be sure to share a lot of that throughout this video as well. But just so you know, that the usual time of year that you can see these jacarandash is between April and June, so that's the time when they blossom. And just to show you again now, I'm walking below one. You can see where they're all starting to fall off on the floor now. But it's just an unbelievable colour. It's like ultraviolet. It's super stunning. Now, if you are interested in going into the castle, for an adult it is €15 to enter. For children under 12 years it's free, and for people between 13 to 25 years old it's only €7.50, so it's quite a good price. But I won't be going in there today because there's other places I want to see, and I know that one of the best things in the castle is the view, but I know there's obviously lots of other viewpoints you can see around the city. But if you're interested in history, it's a great place to check out. The castle does date back to the 11th century. So guys, I've been recommended by so many different friends to try the pastel de nata, which is the famous pastry here in Portugal. And I've just gone to this shop behind me here. It's called Madame Boulangerie, and it's a really awesome place that is selling, of course, the pastel de nata. You can find it in lots of places in Lisbon, but I recommend them. So if you're in Lisbon, it's near to the cathedral, and the lady actually recommended me to put cinnamon on the pastel de nata because it tastes better with cinnamon. And I tried it, and I've got to say that it was worth trying with that on. And if you don't know what a pastel de nata is, it's basically like a flaky kind of pastry, and it's like a silky egg custard tart basically, and it's caramelized on top, and usually it's served warm with white sugar powder or cinnamon powder. So the locals of Portugal usually like to enjoy it with an espresso, but I don't drink coffee, so for me it was just an orange juice. Quite sweet, so if you do like sweet things, they can be quite sweet, but definitely if you're coming to Lisbon you need to try the traditional foods. Now for the next stop of the day, I'm at Prasa de Commercial, which is this huge square just in front of me here, and it's surrounded by restaurants, and there's cocktail bars, there's even a beer museum it seems. Lots of things to see on the outside. You've got the sea just in front, as well as a huge statue, and the Arco da Rua Augusta, which is the which is probably the most significant monument in this square. And on top of the monument, there's like multiple statues of various sort of like figures from Portuguese history. And there's also a Latin inscription at the top, which it says that it's to the virtues of the greatest, so that it may serve as a lesson to all. But it's super nice, and I think at this time of morning, if you come here around 8, half 8 in the morning, it's going to be very quiet like it is now. There's not many people around at all. I mean, for this time of day, I think it is the perfect time to come. It's also not too hot at this time of morning. I can't lie to you guys, this behind me, this big building, it's beautiful. I thought that was grass until I saw ducks swimming in it. Oh gosh, good job I didn't walk on it. Well, you can't walk on it, but yeah, still, it was hilarious. There's like loads of ducks swimming, and for a second I thought, what's going on? Next up, I'm in an indoor area, which is the Timeout Market. It's a huge market with lots of like independent retailers. There's a section where you can get lots of like fruit and veg, homemade, homegrown produce. You can also get your traditional Portuguese meats and foods, lots of fish counters. And then when you come through to the next area, it's like a bit more modern. It's actually a really beautiful room. An array of different shops and things you can go into. Some of them are selling different types of cheeses, Portuguese treats, handmade donuts, alcohols, and it's a huge dining area. I'm here just before it opens, so it opens at 10 AM and it closes at midnight, and it's open every day. So the time now is about 9:45, so a little bit early, but it does get quite busy, but I thought I'd show you it before it gets packed. So just behind me there, I almost missed this. I didn't actually see it until I walked past it. It wasn't on my map. But it's the St. Paul's Church, and I've just been inside, and it is absolutely magnificent in there, with this huge painted ceiling and the architecture and all the details and the symmetry and everything. It's a real hidden gem, and it's nearby to the Timeout Market where I've just been. So if you are stopping at the market for some food, come by to the St. Paul's Church on the way, because it's definitely worth seeing. If you're going at the time I'm going, which is around 10 o'clock, it was very quiet inside, so you can have the whole place to yourself. My jaw literally dropped when I walked in. I didn't expect it to look as magnificent as it did. I just went in there not knowing what it was all about. You've got the Santa Justa lift. It's actually known for its beautiful panoramic views. You've got a 360-degree view looking at everything, and again you can see the castle from there, you can see the square, you can see even the sea from there. So it is worth checking that out. You do have to pay to go down the lift and up. I think the return journey is €6 if you want to experience that. For me, it's not something I'm particularly interested in doing, but it's worth going to check out for the views. Like I say, it's you could spend a good sort of 10-15 minutes there taking photos. So on the way to the cathedral, I just stopped on one of the most popular roads here in Lisbon, Rua Augusta, which is the road actually that leads up to the arch, the huge arch that I showed you at the beginning of this video. So the long road leads up to that, and it's just filled with restaurants, shops, souvenir shops. It's a proper touristy place. But if you go for a walk down there, if you're wanting to try different foods every day you're here, you could probably go down there and try a different place every day for a few weeks. It's really quite a nice little street, and at the end of the street it leads you to this big square, which I'll leave the name for the square on the screen. But the square, it's all lined with them purple flowers again that I showed you at the beginning of this video, as well as like a massive statue. Again, it's surrounded by cafes and all sorts of things there. So there really is a lot to see in Lisbon. I'm still on the way to the cathedral, but on the way I just found a really awesome shop which is called the Fantastic World of Sardines, and basically it's just a huge sardine shop with 20 varieties of sardine, I believe, and there's other fish in there as well, like eels. And in 1942 they actually started with making eels in tins, or like what were sort of like drums back then, and then as time went on they started to produce more sardines, and then it became like a really popular thing. So now of course you can find a whole shop to do with it in Lisbon, and it's a really cool shop actually. There's a downstairs as well. You can actually look through the history of all of the tins downstairs have a different year on with a fact about history, so you can go and check that out as well. But it's worth popping your head in and seeing, and there's also a discount code which I will leave below if you want to get a discount when you're in there, if you want to get yourself some sardines. Right, so the Lisbon Cathedral was a success. You are allowed to record in there. I took my phone and was recording on my phone. People had cameras, so that's all good. And it's only €5 entry, so if you do want to go in there, it's very affordable. And not only that, but you can go upstairs and downstairs. Upstairs you can't record in most of the places because that's where the treasury room is, where all the jewels are, so you can't record there. But you can record in some areas, looking over the balcony, looking down onto the cathedral grounds. And there's also a nice view looking out of some of the balcony windows into the city, so it's another good place where you can see the city. Of course, you go downstairs and you've got all the corridors to explore. You can see all the details of the cathedral. It's super fascinating building. And the cathedral actually dates back to 1147, after the Christian reconquest of Lisbon from the Moors. So it's quite a Romanesque building, and then later on it was introduced to more Gothic and neoclassical styles, so it's got a combination. But like a lot of buildings here in Lisbon, it was actually damaged in the 1755 earthquake, which, if you don't know about that, it was a very historical event that happened in Lisbon. And it is located in what I believe is the nicest district here in Lisbon, which is Alfama. From what I've heard and researched, this is the place to be. It's very, there's so many things to see in Alfama. So yeah, anyway, I'm on my way to my next destination now. It's a 20-minute walk, and I look forward to showing you when I get there. Alright guys, so right now I am on top of the Pantheon, and when you get to the top there's actually a terrace where you've got a 360-degree view looking across different parts of Lisbon, the sea, all these amazing buildings. It really is a wonderful view, so just coming up here for that, it's worth it. And you've also got the big dome in the middle, so you're walking around the dome while you're up here. The building itself is truly magnificent. I think out of the cathedral and this Pantheon, I think this is my favourite. Of course, it does cost a little bit more to enter. It costs €10 to enter this one. That €10 entry fee is definitely worth it, for sure. You've got multiple floors on the way up where you've got gradually higher views looking into the Pantheon, until of course when you get to the top and you're presented with an amazing view of the city. The original building actually began in 1682, where it became a church, but it didn't become a Pantheon until 1966, so that was less than 100 years ago. And apparently it's also nicknamed the Church That Never Ends, because the construction took nearly 300 years to complete. So yeah, that is a very long time to build a building. But you can actually see how much hard work they've put into it, because the amount of steps that you have to go up to get to the top, that's one thing I would say. If you don't mind doing a lot of steps, then then it's fine, because there is a lot of steps to come up here. And apparently this viewpoint here is actually one of the best viewpoints of the city of Lisbon. So I think that says it all really, it speaks volumes. Okay, so that does bring me to the end of today's video, and I hope that you've enjoyed coming on this journey with me around Lisbon, seeing some iconic places, hopefully some new places, and of course some of the tourist places that you should visit when coming to Lisbon. And I've really enjoyed showing you around, and I'm looking forward to also showing you more things from in and around Lisbon in the upcoming videos, so stay tuned for them. There's going to be some exciting places I'll be heading to. But as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.